Hello, welcome to Juan Golf Class and welcome to the Voyager Tournament. This is the new tournament starting the next Monday, and in this video I will give you some information and tips regarding the tournament. These are the tournament prices, as always, for different divisions with the same prices as usual. And for those people playing tournaments for the first time, your weekly league, depending on your weekly league, you can play different tournament divisions, and you can also play the divisions below yours. And these are the tournament holes. We will play 9 holes from 3 different courses: Sunshine Glades, City Park, and Santa Ventura. We will find the Sunshine Glades and City Park holes on Tour 6 and Tour 11, and we can also practice before the start of the tournament the Santa Ventura holes on Tours 2 and 7. So let's watch the official flyover by Playdemic by Golf Class. I hope you enjoy the video. Here we go. So nice video, and always is nice to have sorry.
This is an ad for a project management tool called
It's always nice to have a flyover of the tournament holes, because we can watch some details and also slopes, which will be important during the tournament play. So let's start with the walkthrough, and these are the tournament holes, and this is hole number 1. This is one of the Santa Ventura par 5 holes, and there are different ways to play this one, especially depending on the tee we are playing, and of course always depending on the wind. There are, I would say, three ways at least to play this one. We can play this one. Let's see if it's possible. Yeah, from the tee, and we will usually play this one to the this spot on the fairway, and From here we can play a sniper or a shot, usually trying to bounce on this fairway before the green and go for the green with about 1 bar of backspin, depending on the wind. 1 bar of backspin would be for side wind. If we have a good tailwind, we can also play it in 2 different ways, and the way will depend on the wind we have. So if we have, for instance, a tailwind, but pointing to a little to the right, probably the best way to play this one is try to make a first bounce on this fairway and reach as far as we can here, and from here with probably even some good wind, have a straight wind going for the second shot for the pin. And if we have tailwind but slightly to the left, we can also make our first bounce here and about this position in the second fairway, and with a short iron we can play for the pin. Of course, if we have a really big wind and we are playing for the second or from the 30, we can even try to make a power hook, power slice with a berserker or even a snow globe ball, probably taking advantage of the landscape mode and try to go very close to the green. But I would say these are the common ways to play this hole. So let's go for the next one. And this is hole number 2. The hole number 2 is a very interesting hole because this is a par 4 hole, and there is a really good chance to make the eagle on this one with most of the winds. So very important, this is a very slopey hole, and as reference for the second tee, we have an over adjustment of about 20% because this shot is really downhill. And the most common way is try to make a good first bounce over here, try to go over the bunker and be as close as we can from the green or even on the green. This is possible especially if we have side wind and if we have tailwind. If we have headwind, we can probably play it in a different way. Some people go for the layup to this area and from here try to use a short iron for the pin. I would say a really good chance to make the eagle on this tournament. Hole number 1 has also chances to make the albatross as well. So 2 nice holes to start the tournament, and depending on the wind we could have some really good chances. Hole number 3. This is one of the city par holes, and from the first and mostly from the second tee we play this one usually in 2 different ways. I would say even 3. We can use a long iron, and we can bounce on 2 different places. This one and even this second one position. Try to make a good bounce with some topspin. The topspin is close to 0 if we have a big tailwind, but in about 2.5 or even 3.5 if we have a headwind, and make a second bounce on the green and go for the pin. Be careful if you are short, because if you are short the ball will roll down and we can have even tough putts in order to make the par. There is a second way to play this one, especially when we have I would say side wind or even headwind, and is also the guardian option. And what we can do even from the first tee, especially from the second tee, is try to make a first bounce at the beginning of the green, and second bounce past the pin, and leave the ball roll down into the pin. So I would say this is a par 3 where it's possible to make the hole-in-one, and we have played this hole recently in some tournaments, and it's also a well-known par 3 hole, hole number 3 in the upcoming tournament. So let's go for hole number 4. Hole number 4 is another city par hole, and I would say this is a short par 4. So we will play commonly this one with the short iron for our second shot. It's very important, depending on the wind, to choose if we play to the left side of the fairway or to the right side of the fairway. So we can play this one with the first bounce on this point, and get a second bounce with about 2-3 bars of topspin. If we use too much topspin, we will end in the rough. And from here we can even play a short iron as medium minimum distance in order to go for the pin. We can also play this one, especially if we have headwind, to the right side of the fairway, make our first bounce on this spot with a bigger amount of topspin and some curl, and reach a similar position and make a second shot in the same way. Again, depending on the wind, if we are playing from the second or third tee and we have a really good wind, we can also try we can also try to go directly into the second fairway, make a first bounce, and with an amount of topspin of about only I would say 1 or 2 bars of topspin, and again probably landscape mode, try to reach the green or near the green. So short par 4, and what I would say is that the second shot is really tricky. It's a very bumpy green, and it is not easy to hole out, but anyway, it's a very good chance to make a good score this hole number 4. So let's see hole number 5, and hole number 5 is this city par hole again, and this is again a really, I would say, the first driver shot, the driver shot is is a very technical one. The reason why is we will play this one commonly, making our first bounce here even a little more to the left, and with some curl try to make a second bounce and on the fairway. It is not easy to know if you have not practiced the amount of curl, and it can be tricky sometimes, but it's I would say it's better to play aiming a little more to this bunker with a good amount of curl, and the other option is try to go more straight, but probably it's easier to reach the rough. If we have a very difficult conditions, and or even playing from a different tee, we can also play this one to the left side of the fairway and make our second shot from there. For me, the most important thing of this hole is that if we are playing from the right side, we need to make a bounce on this island, and this island is uphill. This is really important, and from the bounce after the uphill island will go into a green which is downhill. So it's very important when we are adjusting for our second shot to under adjust about 10 or 50% your ring adjustment, because if you don't do that, you will probably end in the rough or even in the bunker. There is another chance to play this one in a different way, trying to go from the left fairway, but the chances to make a really close shot from the left fairway are less. So hole number 5, City Park hole, we will see some albatrosses on this hole, and if we play properly our driver shot, we will have a really good chance to make the eagle. So this is also a par 5 hole, hole number 5, City Park. Let's see hole number 6, and hole number 6 is this par 3 hole, Sunshine Glades hole, and it's a really interesting hole. This is not an easy to make the hole-in-one hole, but we will have some chances. Again, really important to know that this shot is downhill, and I use about 20% of over adjustment when playing this shot. If you are playing, for instance, from the second tee and you have side wind from the left to the right or from the right to the left, you can make a good first bounce here, and with about 3 bars of backspin, more close to the green, just before the fringe, and with 3 bars of backspin you can be really close to the pin. So first bounce before the fringe and 3 bars of backspin. If we are playing with a big amount of tailwind, we can probably use a different amount of backspin, probably between I would say 4 and 5 bars of backspin, and make a similar shot. But if we are playing with headwind, we will play this one with our driver. If we are playing the driver, we must be very careful with the distances. If we are playing minimum or medium, or even if we are playing from the 32nd tee with a big amount of headwind, we can also play it close to max distance. So the most important thing is 20% over adjustment for the wind. If you are playing the wood, you can make your first bounce close to the fringe with this amount of backspin, and if we are playing this one with headwind, we will have a driver shot that will be more difficult, and it will be really important to know the right adjustment for minimum, medium, or even maximum distance for our driver shot. There are of course different ways to play it. There is people that make a sand bump here trying to go straight for the pin, but I would say that we will play mostly this hole in the way I explained. So hole number 6, Sunshine Glades par 3 hole, and let's see hole number 7. And hole number 7, again, what we have here is a short par 4 hole. And I will say, if we have the right wind, the best way to play this one is try to go from the tee, make a first bounce on this island, and go with the second bounce into the green or close to the green. Again, this is a downhill shot, and we will also, I can remember the right amount of over adjustment, but probably between 15%, even 25% of over adjustment depending on the wind. It's really important to over adjust in order to hit the island with the right amount of backspin, side spin, and try to reach the green. There are other ways to play this one. Some people can even try to hit or to use a gap between the trees and try to go in, directly straight into the green, and other players can play this one longer and try to get this spot, and from here a longer second shot for the pin. But I would say that the ways A and B will be the most used on this tournament. So this is again a short par 4, like the hole number 2, and on this hole number 7 we will have again a chance to make an eagle. So as you can see, looks like we can get big scores depending on the wind we get in the tournament. So this is Santa Ventura holes. The last 3 holes of the tournament are Santa Ventura holes, and you can find them on both Tour 2 and 7 in order to practice for the tournament. And hole number 8. Hole number 8 is a par 3 hole, and we have played this one many times in the tournaments. There are 3 ways to play this one again. The way I like to play this one is try to play this one to this spot on the fairway with about 3 bars of backspin and 3 bars of side spin right, depending on the wind. Make our second shot close to the fringe, and from here try to reach the pin. So it's I would say it's not easy to make the hole-in-one. Probably I would say hole number the first par 3 hole is the easiest to make the hole-in-one, the City Park one, and the Sunset Glades and also this City Park par 3 holes are not easy to make the hole-in-one, but we will have a chance. We can also play this one to the right side with different adjustments of backspin and side spin, but a similar shot, trying to go for the pin as well after the first bounce on the right fairway. And especially if we are playing this one from the first tee, we can even from the second tee we can play this one straight. But if we play this one straight, this spot is really deep. It's really deep. It's really downhill, and we need to over adjust a lot. We can make a bounce here and try to go for the pin. So I would say this is the rookie line to play this hole number 8. And depending on the way on the wind from the second and from the 30s, we can play this one left or right. So finally, let's take a look to hole number 9. And hole number 9 is a very classic hole, and is this Santa Ventura par 5 hole, played many times. What can we say about this one? We will have mostly a long second shot. This is really important, and depending on the wind, we can play this one sniper if we have no headwind. But if we have headwind, we can probably use a different boot, like the Big Dog, Cataclysm, or whatever. So the common way to play this one is try to make a first bounce on this island. Again, this shot is downhill. Even hitting the island is a downhill shot, and with the right amount of curl, side spin left and backspin or topspin, try to reach a good spot as close to the left fairway, the left rough as possible, because these trees here are in play. So we do not want to be too long here in order to make the second shot. This is the right spot, and from this position we can make a boot shot, try to bounce mostly before the green or even on the green, and let the ball roll down into the pin. if we have the right wind, there will be other possibilities. For instance, playing from the rookie tee, we can even make the first bounce in the second fairway directly and try to reach the same spot. And with big amounts of tailwind or tailwind combined with wind from the right to the left side, we can try to make a power hook shot especially from the second and from the third tee. But I would say that 80-90% of the players will play this one, making the first bounce on the fairway, trying to reach this position here, and from here try to make the second shot with the wood. If we play this one right, this is mostly an eagle hole, but there will be some chances to make the albatross. It's not an easy second shot, but hopefully we will see some albatrosses on this hole number 9. So these are the tournament holes. I would say this is a really nice combination of different courses with different holes, many short par 4 holes that will give us chance in order to make a good score. And as always, let's see the wins, and best of luck for the Voyager tournament. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye bye.